now we're looking at inputting data. Now there's two different ways you can input data. Well, actually there's a few different ways, so let's have a look at them. I'm just first off gonna again use the bit of coded file I opened up last, and let's just give it some another name besides that, datas or something, and I'm going to delete that. So we're going to then create a verb. As you can see, I've declared variable datas. I'm going to create a verb, and I'm going to go input. So I'm not calling it input because that's probably already defined somewhere else. So we're going to call it inputs, open bracket. Now before we stick the close bracket on, or in between them both, we can actually have an input going on. We could go num as num. No, we couldn't. We'd have to go num1 as num. So this first one is a var. If you want it to understand it a bit better, I could just do that. I will actually. So we've got var, which is num1. Bear in mind that var is not needed, but I'm just putting it in this statement. I'll explain later on what difference is, but for now I'm just going to leave it at that, just so you better understand it. So we have a variable num1, which is as a number, and if I compile and run and click on inputs, as you can see, it's asking you to input a number, and because it's as num, you have to enter a number. There's no doubt about it. There's no way of getting around that. And then the data will be stored in num1. I could have it as as text if I wanted. Text. There we go. And then I could actually enter some text. But it doesn't look very nice. I mean, look, it says inputs text. The box doesn't look very nice. I want to make my own box look a bit better than that. So we're not going to use that method. I wouldn't really advise using that method. However, we're going to use this method. We've already got a data which we declared, which a variable declared, which is dates. Why not use it? So we're going to go dates equals, and it's going to equal an input, open bracket. Now the first statement is the user that is currently going to use. Well, the current user is src. Now src in this case, let's think it through. As I said, src is the current object that owns this command. Well, I've just clicked on inputs. Me, the user, has clicked on inputs. In that case, I am at src. I know it can get quite complicated using src and user if you've not come across this before, but just think, whoever clicks on the verb inputs, that is src. So if somebody else on another computer clicks on inputs, they are the src, and the code will be used, bearing in mind that they're src. Okay. So inputs src. Then we're going to put in. Actually, I'm not too sure. I can't remember if it's a description. Oh, it's a description first. Then it's followed by the title. I was right. So we enter the message we want to put. Enter a number. And then the next one is the title. I'm just going to call it number. You can call it whatever you want. I'm not going to enter all in the last one. I'm going to close the bracket, and then I'm going to go as num. So that is defining that the data that's entered using the command input has to be a number because it's as a num. And then we could output to src, which is in this case going to be us, num. I'm not outputting num, I'm outputting data. Sorry about that. So now if I enter numbers, you see we've got a lot better text box. We've got here number, that's the title. We've got the description or the message, and then we can't enter anything else but a number. The problem is there's no cancel button. We can only ever click OK. Well, we want a cancel button, especially if we're doing a chat system where we're having text. So let's change this. Let's change this to text. We're going to call this chat, and we could go enter your message to say. Now we're going to output the message there, but one more thing I'm going to look at. Another thing we're going to look at is we want the cancel button. Well, currently the input should not be a capital either. Sorry about that. Currently the input is text. It's as text, but we want it to also be able to have a cancel button. So to do that, we go. That's the OR statement. Using that or null. Now that will mean you can actually put it just means it can be entered as text or null. Now the or null bit on the end, we'll add a cancel button, as you can see, and we can actually cancel the statement. Okay. Now, one thing, while I've just mentioned OR, there's also AND. You can actually use these with if statements. Say we wanted to check the if statement, and it could have two separate values. Okay. So we could go if datas equals hello, or, now in an if statement you use two, datas equals go, see, then src you did it, or whatever you want to put. Now as I input, if I type in go, nothing happens. If I type in capital G and O, you did it. So you see it checks them both. You could have a statement where it had to be both have to be true. So if that equals that, and then put that in, and dates also equals go. Well, we know that's impossible because dates cannot at the same time equal hello as it can equal go. But as for, so that can't be true.